Understanding the customer's intent. In this part, creating content that generates leads and sales, spreading brand awareness to cold prospects, planning content marketing campaigns, using the 4 major content distribution methods. Understanding the customer's intent. Content is at the heart and soul of any digital marketing campaign, the foundation on which your search, social, email, and paid traffic campaigns are built. Without content, Google has nothing to discover on your website, Facebook fans have nothing to share, newsletters have no news, and paid traffic campaigns become one-dimensional sales pitches. Content goes beyond blogging. Content includes YouTube videos, product and pricing pages on e-commerce sites, social media updates, and much more. Each piece of content acts as a stepping stone on the path from lead to customer, and from customer to engaged, frequent buyer. This book is about generating fans, followers, and customers using content. This begins by outlining the often misunderstood strategy behind content marketing. You then look at the many different forms that content marketing takes and its uses throughout a prospect's journey toward becoming a loyal customer. Knowing the dynamics of content marketing at its core, the internet is a place where people gather to discover, interact with, and share content. Whether that content is a funny cat video that gives you a much-needed laugh, an inspiring podcast about a single mom surviving cancer, or an article teaching you how to fix a leaky faucet, content is what people crave. Engaging with valuable content is a natural, or native, experience on the internet. People are drawn to content that teaches them something, inspires them, or makes them laugh or cry, and people share and talk about content that has provided them some form of value. With the low cost, or no cost, of publishing platforms such as WordPress, YouTube, and iTunes, even the smallest of brands can produce content for the web. This ease of publishing, however, is a double-edged sword because the constantly changing nature of the internet requires the rapid production of content. Although your brand stands to reap the enormous rewards associated with content publishing, doing so without a plan can lead to frustration. People have a nearly insatiable demand for content on the internet. According to the most conservative estimates, 300 hours of new video are uploaded to YouTube every minute. This glut of content underscores the importance of proceeding with content marketing only after you have made a plan, because you must create quality content to cut through the noise. And quality demands a plan. Without a plan, you won't know whether the goals you set are being met. A plan helps to ensure the success of your digital marketing campaign. Marketers often confuse the term blogging with content marketing. Although blogging is a powerful and versatile content marketing channel, it's only one part of a well-balanced content strategy. If you're among the many marketers who blog with no clear direction, you should commit a few hours to designing a content plan before writing another blog post. Well-executed content marketing includes planning what content you will produce, for what audience, and for what purpose. Many companies and personal brands that are frustrated with digital marketing can trace that frustration back to the time-consuming act of creating content with no clear audience or objective. You'll find the entire process much easier and much more lucrative when you have a good sense of your direction. Finding your path to perfect content marketing. Although perfect content marketing may sound like hype, it's actually obtainable. When you gain an understanding of the true principles of this critical discipline and content marketing's connection to all other facets of your digital marketing mix, you can quickly see the path to content marketing perfection. Content marketing is about anticipating the needs of your customers and prospects, and building content assets that satisfy those needs. For example, the cloud-based software company FreshBooks anticipated a prospective customer's need for pricing information. The web page shown in Figure 3:1 represents perfect content marketing. In this scenario, the content succinctly and clearly communicates the differences in its plans and the varying price levels, provides contact information for those who may have more questions and want to talk to a representative. Offers a free trial. The content on this page completely satisfies the need for pricing information. Understanding the marketing funnel. The path from stranger to buyer is often conveyed using the metaphor of a funnel. Ice-cold prospects enter the wide top of the funnel and some, you hope, exit through the much narrower bottom of the funnel as customers. Content can, and should, assist the prospect in graduating from one stage of the marketing funnel to the next. A basic marketing funnel has 3 stages that take a prospect from stranger to buyer. Awareness: the prospect must first become aware that he has a problem and that you or your organization can provide a solution. Raising problem and solution awareness is where your blog will shine. Use your blog to educate, inspire, or entertain prospects and existing customers. Evaluation: those who move through the awareness stage must now evaluate the various choices available to them, including your competitors' solutions and, of course, taking no action to solve the problem at all. People can, after all, decide to live with the problem and not purchase the product or service that could solve that problem. Conversion: those who move through the evaluation stage are at the moment of truth, purchase. The goal at this stage is to convert leads into frequent and high-ticket buyers. Cold prospects can't evaluate your solution until they're first aware of the problem and of your solution. If prospects are unaware of the problem or the solution that you offer through your product or service, they obviously won't buy. Therefore, conversions are impossible until prospects have first evaluated the possible courses of action they can take, which include buying your product, buying a competitor's product rather than yours, or doing nothing and living with the problem. To move prospects through a marketing funnel, you need to provide content designed to satisfy their needs at each of the 3 stages. Content at the top of the funnel, tofu, that facilitates awareness. Content at the middle of the funnel, mofu, that facilitates evaluation. Content at the bottom of the funnel, bofu, that facilitates conversion. Top of funnel content marketing: the prospects entering the top of your funnel, tofu, are unaware of your solution and often unaware that they even have a problem that needs to be solved. As a result, you need content that people can freely access, as opposed to content that requires prospects to give you their contact information or make a purchase. After all, you have yet to prove your value to them. At the top of the funnel, make free ungated, no password or email address required content available that entertains, educates, or inspires. Choose 2 to 3 of the following content types to deliver tofu content that will raise awareness about the solutions you provide through your products or services. Blog posts: arguably the most recognized form of online content, blogs are an excellent way of raising awareness. For example, the fashion company J.Crew raises awareness of the products it sells by creating blog posts about fashion styles and tips for accessorizing. The J.Crew blog reader and potential customer gets inspiration and solutions to the problem of what to wear and how to look fashionable. The post also alludes to the fact that J.Crew carries the clothing needed to pull off the look. Social media updates: as with blogs, social media platforms such as Facebook are fantastic at creating awareness. Whether it's a Pinterest board by Dreyer's Ice Cream that lists every flavor of ice cream the company sells, or a tweet by Airbnb about the 10 perfect Paris food experiences, these social media updates give their followers free, valuable information while also bringing the solutions their company provides to the forefront. Infographics: infographics are an interesting and engaging way to display content. Typically, infographics contain fun images with contrasting, eye-catching colors, and the way infographics break up text makes this form of content easily consumable by the viewer. Infographics are highly effective at delivering content that is both entertaining and educational, quickly. Whether it's an infographic by IMDb about the best of the year in movie entertainment, or an infographic by Casper Mattress providing tips on better sleeping habits, this type of content delivers value that a consumer wants, and it raises brand awareness effectively as well. Creating infographics are a great way to repurpose content. People love them and they can help you reach more of your audience. Photographs: pictures are powerful because they can explain a lot in a single image. Photographs also help break up blocks of text in a piece of content, which keeps that content from becoming boring or intimidating to read. With a photograph, a kitchen design company can show completed projects that effectively demonstrate what the company does while raising awareness of what the company can do for another customer's kitchen. Digital magazines and books: digital magazines and books are popular, and are another way to distribute content and raise brand awareness. Therefore, you can look to your blog to inspire your content for an e-book or e-magazine. Audio and video podcasts: another form of content that you can use at the top of the funnel is a podcast. With a podcast, you package and distribute your content differently from textual content. A podcast delivers consumable content on the go. Subscribers can listen to the podcast on their commute to work or during their workout, or any other time they choose. They have a more flexible way to consume the content, in contrast to a blog post or a social media update that is less conducive to multitasking. Also, you can use podcasts to effectively promote your product or service while providing value to your prospects. If you sell outdoor equipment, for example, each episode of your podcast can give tips and tricks about hunting, fishing, camping, and other outdoor activities while also subtly reminding your listener of the outdoor equipment available at your store. Microsites. A microsite is essentially an auxiliary blog about a specific topic that is put on a different site with its own links and address. A microsite is accessed mainly from a larger site. For instance, dadsdivorce.com is a separate domain of the men's family law firm Cordell & Cordell. Dadsdivorce.com provides free content for divorcing fathers and is designed to raise awareness about the services and solutions Cordell & Cordell can provide. Print magazines and newsletters. This type of content can require a bigger budget than digital content, but if going this route falls within your budget, print magazines and newsletters are still a great way to raise awareness. For example, the LEGO Club magazine contains plenty of entertaining comic book-style content for LEGO's target customer. Magazines and newsletters help sales by inspiring shoppers based on what they see in print. Primary research. This is research you go out and collect yourself, such as surveys, interviews, and observations. Although this data can be difficult and time-consuming to gather, primary research is powerful because only a finite amount of primary research exists. Specifically, when you take the time to create research, you're providing a service and saving people from having to do their own primary research. For this reason, primary research can stir a good deal of awareness among your prospects. Gated offers often take the form of content such as the following: educational resources. Educational resources for gated offers often exist in the form of free reports, white papers, primary research, webinar training, and sales material. These types of content resources educate the consumer on a particular topic related to your brand while highlighting features of a solution, product, or service you provide. An educational resource can include a case study packed with professional tips and a detailed breakdown of some of your strategies. Educational resources, and all forms of MoFu content, for that matter, must be of high quality or the consumer is likely to feel cheated. Also, if prospects feel that the content you gave them in exchange for their contact information is subpar, your brand awareness suffers. Keep in mind that the point of the MoFu is to help people evaluate your company and entice them to make a purchase. You entice with quality, not garbage. Useful resources. Useful resources are tools such as handouts or cheat sheets, resource lists, templates, software, surveys, assessments, discount and coupon clubs, quizzes and surveys. Bottom of funnel content marketing. At the bottom of the funnel (BOFU), you're looking to convert leads into customers and customers into higher ticket customers. What types of content will your new lead need to make an informed purchase decision? Your leads may be reading your blog and downloading your gated offers, all of which helps to convert them, but to move them on through to the point of making a purchase, you also need to offer content that helps them decide whether to buy. Here are examples of content types that work well at the bottom of the funnel. Demos. The downside of buying a product online is that customers can't hold the product in their hands, they have only an image or two and a description to base their purchasing decisions on, which can make people hesitate to buy. Offering a demo can help with this problem. A demo shows the product or service you offer in action, so that consumers can see how it works. It's as close to touching the product as they can get from their screen. So find a way to demonstrate your product or service through content such as video, screenshots, webinars, or schematic drawings. Customer stories. Customer stories are customer testimonials and reviews. Customer stories are fantastic at the bottom of the funnel because they allow a prospect to see how someone else experienced success with your product or service. You provide your prospects with peer reviews, which have a powerful effect on decision-making. As shown in Figure 3 to 6, Salesforce.com supplies leads who are at the BOFU with plenty of customer success stories to prove that its product can take care of their needs. Comparison spec sheets. When someone at the BOFU is debating over different products, comparisons and spec sheets are handy resources that people use to compare products side by side, whether the comparison is between similar products that you offer or between your product and your competitor's product. For example, the tax preparation software company TurboTax might show a side-by-side comparison to the features and pricing of its competitor, TaxAct. Webinars, events. You can use webinars and events at the middle of the funnel to gather leads, but you can also use them at the bottom of the funnel to convert those leads. At the bottom of the funnel, a webinar can be used to gather prospective customers in one place to ask questions about a complex, risky, or high-ticket product or service. Mini classes. A mini class is a type of event that you set up to teach a relevant topic to your target audience. At the end of the short class, you make your pitch for your product or service. You need to provide quality educational resources with the mini class, but in the end, the purpose of the class is to pitch a higher dollar product related to the class you just held. Appearing everywhere. Your customer expects marketers who want to create perfect content need to publish where their customers are. That means publishing content that meets prospects' intent in any channel, and at every stage of the funnel where groups of prospects are searching for and sharing content. These channels include but are certainly not limited to the following: a website or blog, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Instagram, YouTube. You can publish a single content asset across numerous channels to maximize exposure. For instance, at Digital Marketer, http://digitalmarketer.com, they turned a presentation about how to launch a podcast into a webinar, and then into a podcast episode, and finally into a blog post. Because their audience responded so enthusiastically to this content, they saw the value and the need to repurpose it and distribute it throughout their channels. Consider what content from your company has resonated with your audience. For example, can that video demo of your product be republished on your YouTube channel? Can you repurpose an article from your blog into a webinar, or a podcast episode into an article for LinkedIn Pulse? The opportunities to repurpose content are virtually limitless. Executing perfect content marketing. As discussed earlier in this chapter, to execute perfect content marketing, you need a plan. Each offer you make often requires the creation of different pieces of content. As a result, the ideal is to make a content plan for each of your major offers using a resource the digital marketer calls the Content Campaign Plan. The Content Campaign Plan aligns your content marketing with business objectives such as generating leads and sales. You can see the Content Campaign Plan template in Figure 3 to 9 and can fill out your own by visiting www.digitalmarketer.com. Content Campaign. Following are the steps to create a content campaign plan. 1. Choose personas. 2. Brainstorm content assets. 3. Choose the vehicle and channel. 4. Plan for ascension. Read on to find out more about each of these steps. Marketing through email. Email is still the best method for making offers and sending more content, so growing and maintaining your email lists are critical tasks, which is why growing your email list is built into your content strategy. After you've produced a content asset, such as a blog post or a podcast episode, use your email lists to drive traffic to that piece. To write the email for your new piece of content, first create the subject line of the email message. Often the subject is the same as the title of the content, but there are other strategies to naming your email subject line, such as scarcity headings like "Final Notice, Just Hours Left." Or by piquing curiosity with subject lines like "This is why I do what I do." Quote. Next, open your email with a short, punchy introduction that pulls people into the main body of your email, where you pique the email subscriber's interest and describe what he can expect from the content. Explain this email's relevance to the reader and what he has to gain from it, also known as the benefit. Also, be sure to include a call to action that instructs the subscriber to click the hyperlink to your content. Use 2 to 3 hyperlinked calls to action to make clicking them as convenient as possible. Capturing leads through search marketing. Search engines, such as Google and Bing, are important content distribution channels to leverage. When prospects reach your site by querying a search engine, they might be searching for DSLR camera reviews or crepe recipes in Google or Bing, but haven't selected an ad. They're using search marketing. The traffic driven to that content wasn't paid for but was found naturally by the users. Using social media to drive traffic to your site. After you have created a piece of content, use the social media platforms that your business participates in to drive traffic to that content. Books 7 and 8 go more in depth about how to use social media sites, but for now, be aware that driving traffic on social media may take several forms, such as a tweet on Twitter or an update on Facebook or LinkedIn. This update announces the new content and provides a hyperlink to it. When you write text for a social media update, your brand's personality should determine how you announce this new content. For instance, if your brand is a refined jewelry store, you may want to use a formal tone in your copy. Paying for traffic. As the name suggests, paid traffic takes the form of ads that promote your content and helps your content gain reach, or exposure. You can display ads on many different platforms, including search engines and social media. Paid traffic can be highly effective at generating leads because it helps you to segment your visitors and make use of retargeting. When a prospect visits a piece of content, she places herself into a particular segment of your potential buyers. She's indicating an interest in the offer, topic, problem, or solution found on that page, and you can take advantage of ad retargeting networks such as Google and Facebook to show ads to this prospect based on the content she has visited. Although many marketers may be reluctant to pay to send traffic to content, such as blog posts and podcasts, paid traffic has a major advantage: it's predictable. When you cut a check to Facebook, for example, to promote a piece of content, you will get traffic. This is why, at all times but especially when buying ads for your content, you must ensure the exceptional quality of your content. The last thing you want to do is spend money to send traffic to poor quality content. Use paid traffic to promote quality content that gives value to the consumer and aligns with your business goals. This will help you move people from one part of the funnel to the next, progressing from ice-cold prospect to a lead to customer to repeat customer and, ideally, to raving fan. Creating content that tells a story. In this topics, understanding the science of storytelling, constructing product stories, writing great headlines. Most great content marketers know that storytelling is their secret weapon. They know that stories engage us, they have for centuries. Stories can be motivating and give us heroes to emulate. They can teach us how to act and how to cope. They also perform a critical function for the content marketer: persuasion. In this chapter, you consider the value of storytelling, how to develop a compelling product story, and how to write headlines that capture attention. Storytelling to engage your audience. Now that the web helps everyone share stories, you need to create brand stories that others can tell for you. A great story can capture your customers' attention as no other feature or benefits package can. Seeking the science behind stories. People are hardwired to love stories, but why is this so? A brief look at neuroscience holds the answer. More has been learned about the brain in the last 10 years. So what are some keys to help you recognize good business stories? They include the following characteristics. They should be simple and straightforward. Have you ever stopped reading a novel because the action was hopelessly confusing? You probably decided that you didn't want to waste your time trying to follow the plot. People have even less patience for a business story, they need a simple plot. That doesn't mean that the story can't be complex, but if you confuse your prospect, you've lost him. Evoke emotions. Attention is affected by brain chemistry. If you don't provide some suspense, mystery, or conflict, you have no story. Use visuals. Web stories should have visuals to support them. An abundance of free, online sources of visual materials are available. Many social media studies show that content with visuals are understood and shared at a much higher rate than content without visuals. Imagery powerfully affects limbic brains. Also, although some people are much more visually inclined than others, not just in words but by imagery as well, so you need to show and tell. Connect directly to the customer. Customers seek advice when they learn about your products. They want to know whether your products are a good fit for them. Telling stories about how great the company is doesn't create the emotional connection. The connection comes when you tell customers how great they can be using your product. The point is really very simple. Customers are moved to spend money on your product when they believe that it will make them feel better, look better, or be better in the eyes of those around them. Think about that fact when you write your content. Have a beginning, middle, and end. As with any good story, you need to have the 3 story components. Leave something out and you've got some details, but not a cohesive story. Be authentic. Okay, you've probably heard this time and time again, but authenticity is critical to business storytelling. Telling a phony story is anathema to everything you know about engaging customers and building relationships. You can't win. In addition, millennials are particularly captivated by stories about company values and giving. If you lie, you are lost. Finding your product stories. This section begins with a basic rule. The product stories you tell should have the customer as the hero of the story. You can make your product the hero, but then you lose the interest of the customer. The customer's focus is on himself, not you. So where can you find material for these company stories? You can get them from loyal customers. Make sure that you and your team regularly interact with your best customers. They will always give you feedback about what you're doing right. The stories about how they're succeeding with your product are crucial to capture. They can also let you know what you can do better. Customer support staff. These people are on the front lines with your customers. They solve problems and know where the fault lines are. Make sure that they know you want to hear their stories. Other employees around the company. Don't assume that only support people have stories to share. People throughout the company gain knowledge about customers that will help you create your messages. Vendors and colleagues. Your company is being talked about by customers and everyone who does business with you. Capture the good stories and try to fix the bad ones. In short, stories are lurking everywhere. You just need to listen for them. These stories are the raw material that you use to make your content come to life. Another way to find stories is to look at what your data says. You can gather lots of great insights from your analytics that can be told as a story. When you marry data with a story, it's easier to remember. Structuring your content using stories. So, how can you develop your own stories? If you've tried in the past but were less than successful, you likely didn't use a tried and true storytelling structure. There's no need to reinvent the wheel. Storytelling has been codified since Aristotle's time, the 4th century. Crafting the story. A great many story templates are available to you, and they can help you construct your brand story. They are all a variation on the hero's journey, articulated by Joseph Campbell in his book The Hero with 1,000 Faces. Start with a look at the current reality. You start the story by telling the audience about the marketplace or give them some information to set the stage. The hero has a problem. You introduce the hero, which in this case would be one of your customer personas. You want your prospects to make the connection to the hero as themselves and relate to his struggle. You talk about the problems and the feelings the hero is experiencing. These are the problems and feelings your customer has. For example, the hero could be short on time, overwhelmed by work, or be focused on some other problem. You're telling this story to evoke emotions as well as recognition of the problem. A mentor is introduced. The hero meets a guide who understands his fears and can help him with his struggle. The guide is your product or brand that has the answer to his problem. At first, the hero doesn't want to accept the journey. This element adds drama to the story and reflects your customer's indecision. Eventually, he takes action. The hero accepts the challenge to solve his problem using the guide's advice, or he fails to take his advice and proceeds on his own. This is your call to action and the struggle itself. He succeeds or fails. As a result of his actions, the hero succeeds or fails. This result is determined by his execution of the guide's advice. He can fail miserably if he doesn't take his advice, or succeed if he does. You can tell an unlimited amount of brand stories using this framework. As you work with it, you will recognize how common it is. Incorporating copywriting, content marketing. You're marketing your content to achieve business goals. The content you write is determined by what you want to accomplish from a macro perspective. Copywriting. You look at copywriting from a micro perspective. When you focus on copywriting, you consider the words and other devices, such as visuals, that you choose to compel your reader to do something specific. You're enticing her to give you her email address, buy your product, or sign up for your newsletter. To this end, you use copywriting tactics such as great headlines or metaphors and stories to persuade her. Why do headlines matter? Some people never get past them, maybe as few as only 2 in 10 people will go past the headline to read the article. You need all the help you can get to create compelling headlines so that you entice people to read further. When you create headlines, you want to evoke emotion. As you've seen, emotions trigger attention and persuasion. If your headline is bland, the reader will pass it by on the way to something juicier. Attract the right reader. Your headline should make it clear who the article is targeted at: CEOs, small business owners, or others. Assist with search engine optimization (SEO). All this means is that if you use a keyword in your headline, you will help your customers find you. Make a meaningful promise. Readers always want to know what they will get from reading your article. Make that clear. Do the work of the entire article. As you know, some readers never get past the headline, so create a headline that has impact. When you're crafting your headlines, you don't need to reinvent the wheel. Several good, free tools are available to assist you. CoSchedule's Headline Analyzer, http://coschedule.com/headlineanalyzer:. This tool gives you an overall score and breaks down your headline into several measures to help you improve it. Headlinear, http://headlinear.com/. This tool is unique because it provides you with proven headlines that match your keyword or topic. You can invoke it right from your browser, so it's always there. Hemingway app, http://www.hemingwayapp.com. You can use this tool to test both your headline or your entire post. It makes suggestions about improving your content to make it clear. The readability test tool, http://read-able.com/. This tool helps you determine whether your writing is appropriate for the targeted audience. It will help you simplify and make your content more readable. Defining your content framework using processes and systems. In this chapter, understanding the content workflow, solidifying roles and responsibilities, using an editorial calendar, finding content writers. A chapter about systems and processes. You may be thinking that this content is reserved for people who love to talk about workflow. Well, it is. But it's also important for everyone else who has to participate in getting his or her content to market. So that must include you, too. In this chapter, you get into the nuts and bolts of your content framework. After your digital marketing strategy is in place and you know what kind of content you need, you'll want to create a system that you can rely on to get the job done. This chapter also delves into how content systems and documented procedures make everything easier. Organizing the content process. Why should you care about developing a system for your content efforts? The best answer is that everyone benefits, even those who are not directly involved in the process. You would probably not consider mounting any other kind of project in your organization without detailing how things will work. The same should be said for your content system. Of course, if you're a solopreneur who doesn't use freelancers, you can probably get away without documenting anything. But the moment you bring on another person, you need to let her know how things are done so that she doesn't reinvent the wheel. Benefiting from a defined framework. When you implement a documented content marketing process, you provide everyone in the organization with clear expectations about who is in charge and responsible for each part of the process, how long your different campaigns and tasks take to complete, how to avoid bottlenecks and mistakes, what the budget will provide for and what resources are needed, whether you're meeting your content and business goals, whether you're meeting your legal requirements, how security is implemented and preserved. On the opposite side of the coin, here's a brief look at what can happen if you don't have your content systems in place. You could have the following: violations of copyright laws, copyrighted images or content is published without permission. Dissemination of inaccurate information, angry customers see inaccurate information that was not vetted by a content manager or editor. Sloppy design, no approvals were obtained for design consistency, making your brand look amateurish. Poorly written articles, without editorial guidance, your posts could have misspellings and typos that will turn your audience off. Obviously, people make mistakes. Even with a content system in place, you will still incur errors. A content framework simply helps you eliminate as many nasty errors as possible. 6. Targeting content for your B2B audience. In this chapter, building a resource library of content, writing for the right audience, creative a narrative for your brand story. Tracking success metrics. The content marketing revolution transformed the B2B marketing world. The birth of marketing automation platforms launched in the mid-2000s also launched the digital content marketing industry. Content marketing is all about telling the story of your company's product or service in an unbiased way and demonstrating thought leadership. Establishing a thought leadership position is accomplished through creating meaningful content that leaves an impression on your targeted accounts. Marketing automation systems need content to fuel demand generation. Without content, there's nothing to link to from your calls to action (CTAs) on landing pages. Demonstrating thought leadership would be impossible. Your company needs content to demonstrate its knowledge of industry subject matter. Content has become the lifeblood of a successful marketing program. You have to get the content engine revved up and keep it full throughout your marketing campaigns. A comprehensive strategy is paired with content for each stage of the buyer journey. Content should be engaging, entertaining, and based on the stage of the relationship. All throughout the buyer journey, you'll use marketing technology to help deliver content at the right stage, at the right time, and to the right contacts. Creating a content library. According to the Content Marketing Institute, 80% of business decision makers want their company information in a series of articles, not in advertisements. The buyer journey is a comprehensive life cycle, from the time a prospect first connects with your company. Your potential buyers want to read and digest information at their own pace instead of being spoon-fed by a salesperson. By having a library full of content, your prospects can select the content they want to read or the videos they want to watch. This content informs them about the value of your company's product or service without a sales pitch. White papers. This long-form content is created in .pdf and should be served up early in the buyer journey. A white paper is a great way to demonstrate thought leadership in your area of subject matter expertise. Across all industries, producing and distributing white papers to your prospects is considered a best practice for moving prospects through the sales with ebooks, infographics, and white papers. The goal is education of the problem your company solves, not about your company. Don't include detailed information about your product or service in this early stage content. Save it for later in the buyer journey. Case studies. Letting your customers share their success stories in case studies is good for you. Prospects will hear about authentic results from real clients, and good for your clients. Their stories promote awareness of their businesses, too. This content should be presented by the sales team after the qualification process, when you're trying to progress the account into an opportunity or closed-won deal. 2 ways to develop case studies into content include: document, designed in a .pdf covering the problem your customer was experiencing and how your company provided a solution. Video, short recorded interviews with your customers, where prospects can hear from customers in their own words about why they do business with your company. Webinars. In the early stage of the buyer journey, webinars are a great tool to drive awareness and engagement in your target, qualified accounts. The goal of producing webinars is to create more interest with the contacts in your account and move them further through the sales process. With your prospect webinars, you need a panel of presenters. When you have 3 presenters, these roles are the ones you should have: 1 thought leader or industry influencer from outside your team, a customer champion who can be an advocate for your product or service and can speak eloquently to your audience, one of your executive team members or a leader in your company. Edit your recorded webinars into shorter segments, such as a 15-minute video. Short video recordings are easy to digest, and can be replayed at your contact's convenience. Figure 6-4 shows a sample webinar. Blog posts. Your company's blog is a key component of your marketing website. Your prospects and influencers will check out your blog for the latest topics your company is writing about. New content should be published to your blog at least once a week. Make it current and topical. Press releases. This is how your company will distribute major news. These news announcements can include a strategic round of funding, a new customer acquisition, merger, partnership, or hosting an event. The benefit of distributing a press release on a web-based platform, such as PR Newswire www.prnewswire.com, MarketWired www.marketwired.com, or PR Web http://service.prweb.com/home, is that it's an official press release, which you can then link to from other sources. Social media. The content you publish to social media platforms, such as Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook, should be fresh and timely. Social media content should be created specifically for the channel you're publishing it on. Every time you post a link to Twitter, use a platform like bit.ly https://bit.ly.com or snip.ly https://snip.ly to track how many times the link is clicked. When you're sharing the same piece of content on multiple social media channels, such as sharing the same case study on both Twitter and LinkedIn, create different tracking links to attribute it to different channels. Many marketing automation systems can also generate tracked links or integrate with tools that track social media engagement. Direct mail. Content for direct mailing includes physical objects. You need to have stationery printed with your company's logo for your team members to write notes to accounts thanking them for their time. Consider printing postcards to include with swag or other items you will physically mail to prospects. Storytelling and its importance. Adapting the narrative to fit the buyer journey means everyone will discover a slightly different version of the same story. A story always has three components: a beginning, a middle, and an end. The same is true for the buyer journey. You need to tell a story to the contacts in the account using your content. Here's how to think of your content as a story. Beginning, the start of the buyer journey with your company. It's about awareness for the early stage prospects. At this stage, the prospect is becoming educated about the problem and potential solutions. The relevant content at the early stage includes blog posts, ebooks, infographics, and white papers. Taking a B2B lens to your content, producing content by industry vertical, basing content on personas, humanizing content, demonstrating thought leadership. Addressing wants, needs, and pain points, personalizing your message, developing a brand identity, reaching through technology, employing a content strategy, delivering content on the right channel, measuring your content's effectiveness.